Ben here, back with another video for you. Now today, my channel, Ben's Sawmill, I want to talk to you a little bit more about sawmills. Now, to start off with, Woodland Mills was the first mill that I got, and it has been a very good mill. I can't say enough about Woodland Mills. The problem with Woodland Mills, the bandsaw only cuts a maximum of a 22-inch wide log, and between the guides on the saw blade has a throat of 19 inches. So the biggest slab that I can cut off my Woodland Mills bandsaw is 19 inches. So I decided to go and buy a new chainsaw. Now, in case you haven't guessed, it's a Stihl chainsaw. Now, since my bandsaw mill can only cut a maximum of a 19-inch slab, 22-inch log, I decided that I really wanted to get a good chainsaw, and I wanted to go as big as I could possibly get. I also wanted to be able to use a chainsaw mill to slab some lumber down and make some wider slabs with some bigger logs. So let me show you what I came up with. Introduce you to my little friend here. Now, what you're looking at is a Stihl MS 880 chainsaw, and it has a 47-inch bar. That's a 121.6 cc engine and a 404 chain on there. Now, this bar is a 47-inch bar. Will go very nicely with my Granberg 48-inch mill that I bought. So, between the mill and the chainsaw now, I should be able to do a couple different things. First and foremost is I want to be able to slab some wider logs, obviously up to 46 inches or so. I should be able to cut a 46-inch wide slab and make some really nice pieces of wood. The second thing I want to be able to do is take a 48-inch plus tree and quarter it with the chainsaw, and then be able to take each quarter, which would be roughly 20 inches across, put them onto my bandsaw mill and make some really nice quarter sawn lumber. So I want you to sink in a little bit here. If you take a 40-inch log, split it down the middle, split it down the middle again, you have 4 quarters. Each one of those quarters would be 20 inches across. That 20-inch across piece will fit inside my Woodland Mills bandsaw mill. So between Stihl and Woodland Mills, I think it's going to be a good team up together to work at cutting some logs, quartering them, putting them on the mill, and then milling some nice quarter sawn lumber. Is it going to be an easy job? No. Is it going to be kind of excessive? And yeah, a little bit. It might be some hard work for one guy to do, but at the same time, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So now the question is, where do you find 40-inch wide logs, and how do you move them? Well, recently I decided that I would look into a tree that is roughly 46 inches across. It's a nice oak log. I decided to go out and look at it, cut it up, and it just so happens that the guy whose property owns the property that the tree's on had a scale and decided to weigh one of the logs. So the particular piece that I cut was about 16 inches long. I cut and I just bucked one round off the end, and it measured 44 inches on one side and 33 inches across the other. He took and weighed that 16-inch piece, and I would like to give you an opportunity to guess on how much that piece would weigh. So think about this one time. 16 inches lengthwise down the log, 44 inches on the longest part of the round, and 33 inches on the shortest piece of the round. So it's kind of an oblong piece. It is red oak, and just take a rough idea on what you think that would weigh. Now, while you're thinking about that, let me explain that my skid loader only could lift a max capacity. Its operating capacity is about 1,300 pounds. So if you cut an 8-foot long log at 44 inches across, how much you think that log would weigh? So thinking this through a little bit, now I know there's ways you can winch a log onto a trailer and move a log of that capacity. But I think it's going to be a lot easier to be able to cut it with a chainsaw and maybe either slab it in place or quarter the log right there on site instead of trying to move such a massive log. Now, this is something I'm not going to be doing every day, but this is something I plan on doing a few times, and I think it's going to be well worth the chainsaw itself. Now, back to my original question. How much do you think that log weighs? 16 inches across, 44 inches one way, and 33 the other. That particular round weighed 705 pounds. So now, I'm sure you could look this up on the internet and figure out exactly what the weight would be, but if you figure out roughly the log at 8 foot long is going to weigh over 5,000 pounds. Now I go back to the skid loader, has a max capacity of about 1,300 pounds. So you're almost 5 times the max capacity of my piece of machinery that I have available to be able to move these logs. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to figure out how it is that you're going to move these logs. But again, I think with this chainsaw, it would be easier to just slab it in place or quarter the log, and then you're taking the 4 quarters aren't nearly as bad. You know, you're talking about roughly 1,000 pounds, which is within the weight of the skid loader, a little over. You know, maybe even the 1,300 that it's designed to lift. I know it can lift a little bit more than it's actually name-plated to lift, but you know, a 1,300 pound log is still pushing things a little bit. So that's the plan. That's what I plan on doing. Look forward to more videos. I'll be out doing some cutting. And until next time, thanks again for watching.